Hey guys, welcome back here to today's edition of the Fishing Teacher. Appreciate you guys joining me for today's video. And as you can see guys, it is pouring down rain out here right now. Actually, I'm getting ready to go out. We're going to film the ultimate match fishing with Joe Thomas. I'm competing against Mark Rose today, getting ready to go out in Table Rock Lake. And I want to talk a little bit about what rain does to bass. And a lot of people, there's some misinformation, sort of like some myths and all that type of stuff surrounding rain. And I want to give you guys just sort of a basic foundation about how rain affects bass behavior and the lures they bite, and sort of go through some different scenarios. Definitely think it's going to help you guys out in the long run here. Also guys, we're getting started. A couple quick housekeeping tips. Just wanted to thank everybody very much for everybody that's been using and bookmarking that Tackle Warehouse link of mine in every video description. Man, if you guys want to help the Fishing Teacher and you get something from these videos, just go into every video that I do. I put in my descriptions, I put the Tackle Warehouse link in there. And if you use and bookmark that link to purchase your tackle, the channel gets a small percentage of the commission on anything you buy. So really appreciate everybody that's done that. And also guys, anybody interested in booking a private on the water lesson with me, I do most of my lessons here at Table Rock Lake or Stockton Lake. Shoot me a private message at my Facebook page, Intuitive Angling with Randy Blaukat. So appreciate that. Okay guys, raining out right now. This is sort of like, I'm going to give you guys sort of a context across the board what happens with rain at different times of the year, 4 seasons. Now, to me, it has everything to do with water temperature and water clarity in terms of if a rain is positive or not, or if it's going to help or hurt your fishing. Generally, what happens, if you've got water temperatures from about, anywhere between the 40s to around 50 degrees, rain is going to be, it's not necessarily negative, but it's not going to help you whatsoever. And it can be a negative, especially if the water visibility is a little bit stained. Let's say, for example, you've got a lake that has, 48, 50 degree water, but the water visibility is dirty, like 1.5 foot visibility, and it's raining. That's not a good thing. That's going to probably hurt you more than help you. But things start to change, like right now, water temperatures in the 60s, and if you get water temperatures in the 60s, rain starts to have a different effect. Again, there's a correlation between water clarity and water temperatures being in the 60s. But in general, like right now, if you've got a rainy day, water temperatures in the 60s or the 70s, something like that, springtime of the year, if you have water visibility under about 1.5 feet, it's not necessarily going to hurt you, but it's not going to do anything to help you or activate the fish. But if you have a situation like we have here at Table Rock in certain areas where you have clear water, like water visibility over 3, 4, 5 foot clarity, anytime that you have rain, that's usually a positive thing. It's a low light condition. It's going to make the fish a little bit more secure. It's going to make it a little bit more active. And usually they're going to bite moving baits a little bit better. Now, the only exception to that is if you have an extended period of rain. Let's say, for example, it's just starting to rain now. It just started last night. Probably a positive thing. But if it rained like 2 or 3 days in a row, actually that can be a negative, and the fish will not chase a lure after 2 or 3 days very well. They tend to hunker down on the bottom for whatever reason. I'm not really sure. But the springtime, the rain has a big impact on the activity of a bass, especially the aggressiveness of a bass. Now, as the water gets warmer, like in the summertime, once the water temperature starts to get in the 80s, like, June, July, August, something like that, rain is not going to have that big of an effect upon the bass, especially the larger bass. Now, if you have a rainy day like in July, yeah, you might be able to catch a few bass here and there on a topwater. But the reason that rain does not help bass fishing in the summertime like it does in the springtime is you don't have as many bass that are living in shallow water. In the spring, bass are living in shallow water and they activate with this rain. But if you have a rain in the summertime, the fish that are suspended out in the middle of the lake, or the fish that are in 20 or 30 foot of water, aren't going to swim to the bank just because it's raining. They're going to stay out where they're at. So you're not going to notice that big of a benefit with rain in the summertime. But it changes again in the fall time. Once that water temperature starts falling back down into the 50s and 60s and around 70, you have the same thing. It's like the same thing happens in the springtime as it does in the fall time. Fish get more active. They start chasing more. related to water clarity, just like we talked about. But the two main periods of the year that rain is a positive and it's going to help your fishing is when the water temperatures in the 50s and 60s in the springtime and the fall. In those conditions, fish bigger moving reaction lures. That's going to take advantage of it. But wintertime and summertime, guys, don't change a thing. If you're catching them on a jerkbait in the wintertime and it's sunny, keep fishing a jerkbait if it's cloudy. If you're catching them on a deep diving crankbait in July and it's partly cloudy and then it starts raining, keep throwing your deep diving crankbait. It's not going to change much. So anyway, guys, hope it helps out. We'll talk later.